Rick's Corner. Today I have some funny stuff for you. I call it Bodybuilding Budget 101 from the golden era. Now, you wouldn't want to try this today because it probably wouldn't work, but this is funny stuff. Don't take it too serious because we did this all in fun. This is how we got by with little to no money. Because back then in bodybuilding, I mean, most guys didn't want to work. They wanted to train all day. They didn't want to go to a job or would take your training away, and they wanted to lay on the beach. So you had to try to get by as cheap as you possibly could. And most bodybuilders back then were pretty much cheapskates. That's just the way it is. So what we would do is, one of the things we would do, now please don't do this today, I don't think you even can. We'd go into the markets where they had steak and beef. And at those times, the labels of the prices were on top of the package. You could take it off and put a cheaper label on. You get a $12 steak for $3. And we go by and we change them, we go through the check stand and pay $3 for a $12 steak. This happened all the time. We had a friend that worked at Farmer John's Pancake House. He was a bodybuilder as well. He took care of a few of us. We drove around the back. He was a cook. He'd come out the back door and load us up with about 5 or 10 frozen steaks, and we put them back in our freezer at home. One way to save money. I had a friend named Pat Flowers. He trained with me, and he was from Florida, I believe, and we went to the Pancake House one day, and we're sitting there eating, and I see him eyeballing a table where some lady's sitting. She's having a big chicken salad or something like that, and he keeps looking, and finally she got up and left, and he literally got up, went over and sat down and finished that salad. I said, why did you do that? He says, first of all, what could be wrong with it? It's half a plate of food, it's full of protein, and it's free, so I took it. These kind of things happened often. I mean, it wasn't something that just once in a while, it's just how guys were. Back then in the coffee shops, you would have cream in little silver creamers, look like little pitchers. They didn't have the artificial stuff. This is real cream. And of course, Vince Gironda and Rio Blair said you had to have real cream in your diet because it's fatty and you can burn that as energy and you gain. So most of the guys would go into the coffee shops and they'd drink the cream right out of the creamer and get a refill and drink it again because it was free protein. I know it sounds ridiculous, but this is how it was back in those days. We'd go to the weekends, we'd go down to the marina and they'd had happy hour. You'd see some of the guys working there come by with big trays of chicken legs. I mean, there may be 20, 30, 40 chicken legs on one tray. Well, everybody would take one little napkin and go back to the bar and sit down. We'd take the whole tray from the guy. Sat down, finish him off. When he brought another one, we took it again. We got it before he even went into the room with trays, and he would just laugh about it. Because what's he going to do? 3 or 4 big bodybuilders are not going to fight us over. He just give us the chicken. These things we do. We'd go to a smorgasbord, for example, all you could eat. And of course, they had chicken breasts, fried chicken breasts. Pull the skin off and eat it. Some of the guys would take their gym bags, take some tin foil, take those chicken breasts at the table, put them in the tinfoil, go back, take them again, walk out maybe 5 or 10 chicken breasts, all wrapped in tinfoil in their workout bag for another meal. Finally, the guy got wise. He says, you know what, you guys aren't welcome to come here anymore. It's no more all you can eat. We changed it to the best you could eat. I've said this once before. But these were little things back then that we would do to get more food. And it was pretty funny because, in those days you didn't care. You just did whatever happened, and that's whatever happened, and no one really ever did anything about it. We had a smorgasbord up on the hill, and one of our friends went in there and he ate like 32 meatballs in one sitting. You're only supposed to take a few, but it was a way to get some extra food. But these are things that I don't think you could do it today. There's just no way. But it did give us the extra protein we needed, and of course we ate as much protein as possible. It was always tuna cans, and I'd buy the ground beef in the market, and then I'd make 2 big beef patties out of it, enough to last for a couple of meals here and there, and stretch it out with cottage cheese, like I've said before, because it's all good protein. But those were fun times. Those were fun times, and I was just talking to somebody about it, and they said, you should do Bodybuilding 101, how to be on a budget. That was a pretty good budget. It was a good way. We had an egg farm, probably 3 blocks from my house on Main Street, Edgemar Egg Farm. Now it's an Edgemar Playhouse. But I'd drive over there and they'd have a dozen eggs, big jumbos, for 39 cents. So of course you buy 4 or 5 dozen of those eggs today. They're like $2 and something a dozen, maybe more. So the eggs were pretty cheap. We'd eat a lot of them. We go through a lot of eggs, and that's just the way it was. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you because it was fun times. That's how we stayed on a bodybuilding budget. 2 or 3 guys would get an apartment together and they'd all share the rent. They'd share one car. But you didn't have to go very far living in Venice. The gym was like right down the street. You could get a place to stay 3 blocks away. You had the beach about another block away. The marina was down at the end of the Washington Boulevard, so that was within walking distance. And you could train and live next to nothing. I mean, rents back then were like, maybe $125 a month on the beach. 3 guys would share the place. I mean, that was dirt cheap. And Joe Gold wouldn't charge much. If you had no money, he wouldn't even charge you a membership. He said, let's go ahead and work out. He'd take care of the guys. But that was our budget back then. Then we would go to the marina and we'd meet some girls on a Friday or Saturday night. And a lot of them had a lot of money. They come from Beverly Hills. And here we are, bodybuilders, like I said in the past and some of the things I've said, and they want to feel our bicep and feel our chest, and we sit and talk to them, and they say, hey, how about if we all go out to breakfast? So we say, okay, and we go to some local coffee diner or Zookie's or somewhere around there, and the bill would come, the girls would say, I got it. Okay, you got it. They were willing to pay. They always had money on them, and we would always take advantage of it. So I just wanted to share these moments in time with you because they were so much fun. You guys always ask about the golden era and how we got away with what we did, and we just had balls to do it, and we had a lot of fun doing it. So stay tuned for more Rick's Corners. I got Jerry Brandon coming back on to talk about precursors and working out. And be sure to go to bodybuilding.com and buy my Gold's Gym Original T-shirt and the World Gym Original T-shirt, and also Anabolic Outlaws, who sponsor Rick's Corner as well. They have a lot of products. And thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more because I'll bring you more fun stories from the past. I can't just wait, man. It's fun. Thanks again.
Racing.com. He is the equalizer, baby. See you next time.